Hello out there, everybody. Manny here at Area 503. And I hope you all have been well since our last video. Today I just want to talk to you guys about some recent footage of a UFO that was shot near the moon. The guys over at Third Phase first reported that Carlos Skywatcher, a viewer of theirs, submitted a video of some UFO footage. Carlos was nice enough to allow me to use the footage, so I'll link to Carlos's page down below, and when you're done here, head on over and check his channel out. If you like what he's doing over there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know I did. Yeah, let's check out the footage that Carlos caught. It looks like he was out filming the moon when this strange light appeared. Whoa, check that out.
Now I got something.
Whatever that thing is, it's gotta be massive if you can see it from the Earth. What is that? It's hard to get a real good look at this thing because of the glare coming off the moon. Dang it. Sounds like Carlos is just as curious as I am. What is that dang thing? It looks like it's sort of just hovering there. Or if it is moving, it's moving very slowly.
Is that next to the moon or is it in the moon?
Gosh, I could go either way at this point. I think that thing looks like it could be on the moon or above it. It's really hard to tell.
Olha, apagou. Lights out. Something was there. Something was there.
You're totally right, dude. Something was there. But what was it? That's the question. You know, a lot of people were speculating that this could be a large base on the moon. But if that's true, this thing has got to be gigantic, or like I just said, you just wouldn't see it from the planet. And here's one more thing. When I was viewing this footage, I got the sense that this object was moving. And so I took two still frames from about 3 minutes apart, and then I lined up the craters on the moon the best that I could, and this appears to show that the object is in motion. Or this could also be an effect called retrograde motion, which we'll talk about more later. But for now, this motion really made me think, is this some kind of a satellite? There are 6 or so publicly known lunar satellites in orbit today. But I don't think this could be one of those, just due to the size, because I don't think you can see the lunar satellites. They're tiny. And whatever this thing is, to me, it's just not moving like a lunar satellite either. It's actually pretty hard to obtain a stable lunar orbit, which is why most lunar satellites have to have an oblong elliptical-shaped orbit, as opposed to a nice, tidy, circular orbit. What this means is that satellites that orbit the moon spend most of their time either moving away from the moon or back towards the moon, but not actually at the moon. This further decreases the likelihood that what Carlos saw was a satellite. And when you take this into account with the size of the object, I think we can safely rule out a satellite. One more thing did occur to me. The lunar surface is full of thousands of craters of meteorite impact events. Is it possible that it's a meteorite maybe crashing into the moon? I gotta tell you, I don't think that's very likely, because meteorites that are captured by the moon's gravity tend to crash down very quickly, and with such impact that they can leave visible traces of the disturbance for days, weeks, or even months. It can take a long time for the impact crater to blend in with all of the other thousands of impact craters that are visible on the lunar surface. And whatever this object is, it's hanging around for a few minutes, not a few seconds, so I think we can also rule out a meteorite. So if this object isn't a meteorite, and it's not a moon base, and it's not a satellite, at least a man-made one. No, but seriously, what else could it be? It's kind of a stumper, guys, but I got one more idea I want to toss at you about it. I mentioned retrograde motion earlier, and I've spoken about it before, but what if this is simply light from a distant galaxy or star that seems to be moving due to retrograde motion, and then moves behind the moon so it seems to disappear? Here, let me show you. Here's the Earth and the Moon, and here's a distant galaxy. We're going to call this the Stumptown Galaxy. And this beam is going to represent the light that's coming from the Stumptown Galaxy towards the Earth. Check out what happens here. As the Earth moves along its orbit and rotates, the light from the Stumptown Galaxy makes it look like the galaxy is actually moving, because we're basing its movement on the relative position of the light to the moon and ourselves. The truth is, those guys over in the Stumptown Galaxy, they're not moving at all. We're the ones who are moving, relatively speaking. So that might explain why this UFO seemed to be moving. But what about it disappearing at the end? Well, watch what happens here. When the moon passes in between the Earth and the guys over in the Stumptown Galaxy, the light from the galaxy is cut off by the moon, and it looks like it disappears. Without the precise date, time, and location of the sighting, it's impossible for me to reference any sort of materials to confirm or deny this theory, but I am leaning towards it being the most likely explanation, just because it fits with all of the evidence that we have. I really do think that this was light from some sort of a distant galaxy or star that just passed behind the moon. What do you guys think it was? Do you think it was a secret moon base? Do you think it was a satellite? Was it a giant ship? Or a meteorite? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to link to Carlos Skywatcher's page and to Third Phase, so you guys can go ahead and check out the original videos if you want. It's all down below, right next to the subscribe button. Hint, hint, hint. Anyhow, I just want to say good job to Blake and Brent over there at Third Phase. I guess that Carlos had sent them an email and they responded within a couple hours and had the video out within a few hours after that. So really good turnaround time there, guys. Way to get that stuff out there so everyone could take a look at it. That's impressive. And thank you, Carlos, for uploading that in the first place. We appreciate everyone who is trying to figure this stuff out. I know I do. I've got just one more thing I want to talk to you about. I stumbled across a video the other day and I wanted to share it with you.
I got a declare emergency. My pilot's unconscious. I need help up here. I need to get this thing on the ground. I'm flying the King Air. Right, stay with me, man. Let's go.
It's an emotional retelling of a man who was on board a dual-prop King Air with his family when the pilot suddenly passed away.
Got dead pilot sitting beside me.
And November 9 Delta Whiskey, are you using the autopilot or are you flying the airplane?
Me and the good Lord hand flying this 9 Delta Whiskey.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
The man had a little bit of piloting experience, but he quit flying right after getting his pilot's license, and that was in a little Cessna 13 years before. Despite that fact, he was able to land the airplane with assistance from the air traffic controllers. The video is extremely well done, and I felt all of the tension, fear, and relief, like I was actually there.
9 Delta Whiskey, how many souls on board?
5.
5? Okay, thank you.
I cried a little bit at the end, and I'm man enough to admit it.
Bring up, buddy, thank you. 9 Delta Whiskey.
9 Delta Whiskey, when you're ready, you can go to ground frequency 121.9. Nice work.
121.9, thank you.
It's 45 minutes long, and I couldn't skip a second of it. Just give it a watch. You won't be disappointed. I'll put the link in the description below. Well guys, for now, that's all I've got on that strange lunar object. I'd like to give a shout out to my truth troop, Mr. or Mrs. Bubbles, with a Z. I got it right this time. If you want to join the truth troop, you can do so by hitting us up down on Patreon in the link in the description below. And the links to the Area 503 gear shop are down there as well. Both are great ways to support the channel. I'll catch y'all in the next video. As always, this has been Manny at Area 503. And I wish you all the best until we meet again. And I am out of here to continue my search for universal truth.